Hello, and welcome to your webinar, Quick Fixes for Postage Machines. My name is David Risen. Bill Mead and I own OMECorp. We're also known as Oklahoma Mailing Equipment, where we meet all of your mailing and shipping needs. Now celebrating its 40th year. No old jokes from you, Andy.
So you've been around the block, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so much, I think they're about to name the block after me.
Risen Road, that's good stuff.
And as you know, we have Genesis of Oklahoma to meet all of your document management, storage, and imaging needs. We are proud to sponsor your webinar you've all been waiting for, where you will get to know your postage machine and how to find all the information you need and more on Neopost's website, and how to perform quick fixes and avoid some of those costly service calls. If you've missed our most recent webinar topics, Smart Shipping for Business and Address Quality Health Check, we'll be replaying those in the future. But if you'd like to see them sooner, put a request in the Q&A and we'll get you a copy. Like always, Andy will be your host, but I'll be answering all of the questions throughout the webinar. When you have a question, just click on the question mark icon on the left side and you'll see a dialog box appear on the right. Just type your question in the dialog box and I'll answer it as soon as I see it. So I'll let Andy take it from here.
Thanks, David. As always, I'm your host, Andy. Our goal today is to give you the familiarity with your postage machines that will save you time, labor, and of course, money. David, don't you think today's webinar is probably the most effective yet?
Absolutely. It's so highly important, and some of our tips are generally enough that anyone with a postage machine can benefit, but especially those with our machines.
The information we provide today will give you the added clarity and confidence to be able to overcome some of the minor obstacles you face as an operator, or at the very least, giving you the added knowledge to be able to better communicate those issues with a technician. Most of us hate the feeling when we try to convey to the mechanic that we don't know why our car is making that chugga noise instead of the vroom we prefer. Today, we'll arm you with the tools to avoid that with your postage machine. Your webinar highlights will be your welcome letter, My Neopost and Neopost Knowledge Base, basic operations, and quick fixes. Let's dive right in. On screen now is a copy of the welcome letter you should have received at the installation of your postage machine. If you don't have your welcome letter, contact us and we'll get you another. This letter will have very important information to identify your machine and the supplies it uses. You'll see your model/description. This example shows IN700 postage machine, or this can be found on the back of your machine. This area of the letter also shows the equipment's ID number that's needed for all your communication with OMECorp. This information is also located on a sticker on the front of your machine. Your letter will have the phone number, or email if you prefer, for ordering supplies, and the supply item numbers needed for ordering. You'll also see the phone numbers for placing service calls and names and email addresses for all relevant OMECorp management. Our main contact information is also in the footer of the page. This welcome letter helps you communicate the correct information to the correct person. My Neopost and Neopost Knowledge Base. The information contained in the welcome letter can also help you navigate the Neopost Knowledge Base. We all know that time is money, and while our service team is best in class, sometimes the quickest and most cost-effective solution is to go to the Neopost website, and you can find many answers here. Let's take a look. First, go to neopostusa.com. You'll see the Neopost logo and the green banner. Of course, remember that any good website changes often, and this information is correct at the time of this webinar, but it's always a good practice to stay up to date with your machine's manufacturer by going to their site often. As of today, at the very top of the right center, you will see three choices: Supplies, Support, and My Neopost. Let's begin with My Neopost. Some of you may not know about My Neopost, where you can tie a powerful online portal to your own Neopost account. I'll quickly show you how to register and then how to log in. Steps to register. First, go to neopostusa.com. Just right of center, click on My Neopost. At the top right, click on Register. Fill in all the blanks for your organization. You'll need your customer number and the meter serial number. If you don't know the customer number, it's located on your invoices you receive from Neopost. The meter serial number is located on the indicia that are printed on every envelope. You'll receive an email from Neopost with your login information. Now you're ready to navigate throughout one of the most powerful tools Neopost USA provides to its customers. Now let's log in. Steps to log in. Go to neopostusa.com. Top right, click on My Neopost. Top right, click on Login. Here you'll enter your email and password. I want to highlight a few of the important areas we want to make sure you know are available for your use anytime. Go to My Services by hovering over the tab or just scrolling down and you'll see a box with quick links. postage invoices from Total Funds. Go to the last box labeled neofunds/total funds with the $sign and click to see your account summary. Here you can pay your postage invoice with the Pay Bill link, which will free up your credit line faster and keep yourself current. Payments post with this method within 48 hours rather than waiting 7 to 10 days by phone or mail. Postage summaries and history. The Postage Summary link with the piggy bank icon shows postage balance and available funds from your credit limit, which allows for accurate budgeting. iMeter apps. On the second row is an icon that looks like a location mark above a barcode. Clicking on this gives you access to a single location for your systems, reports, e-services, and supplies. Clicking e-services, for example, provides an easy search for electronic fund receipts within the last 18 months. Very handy. Mail finance invoices are easy to spot. It's on the top row with an icon that looks like a paper with mail finance abbreviated. This gives you a history of your equipment leases and all the lease details, as well as paying your equipment leases online. On rare occasions, there are postage meter leases that are not included in your mail finance equipment lease, and those invoices can be found and paid under the NeoPost USA Invoices icon with the NeoPost logo. As we discussed in previous webinars, it's always good to be up to date on rate change information. If you click on the rate change icon with the refresh arrow, you'll get details and rate charts about up-and-coming rate increases, which allows you to easily purchase rate updates when they aren't included in your lease. Let's go back to neopostusa.com. On the upper right side of the screen, in between Supplies and My NeoPost, is Support. Click that. You'll see all the types of equipment that NeoPost provides. If you'd like quick access in the future, save this URL, kb.neopostinc.com. As you can see, every piece of equipment that OMECorp can provide to your organization is here in the knowledge base. This is an amazing tool, available to your company 24/7. For this topic, we are looking at mailing systems, so you'll want to click there. Now find your machine on this page and click on it. Remember, we know from our welcome letter, or from the identifying plate that we showed earlier, that we have an IN700. I'll click on that now, and we'll be taken to the IN700 page. Don't forget, you can also save your machine's specific page as a bookmark in your browser, or just copy down the URL to come directly back here in the future. Now, you'll see 6 tabs going down the center of the page, beginning with General and ending with Rate Management. Let's run down this list quickly because I want you to see how much information can be found here. I'll click on General and you'll see the Safety Guidelines folder containing your machine's safety articles. NeoPost is also adding general system articles as they become available. By clicking Installation, you'll see several PDFs on various installation guides. Notice the Connections menu and the Wi-Fi setup here. That's a quick reference if you ever lose connection or change your Wi-Fi provider. Next, you'll see the Troubleshooting tab. By clicking, you'll see Event Messages. This is where you can look up the description of event codes. Back to Troubleshooting, next is Search Tool, and then Diagnostics, and Access LAN Tool. When clicking on Event Messages, you'll see all the different event messages, and when clicking that, you'll see the description, recovery, and what to do if the problem persists. Now, let's go back to the main support page and continue. After Troubleshooting, you will see Operations, and that gives you PDFs under the Quick Start Guide, Topics, and User Guide. When you click on the appropriate Quick Start Guide, you will download a handy infographic that looks like this. That brings us to Maintenance, which shows options to give us help with inking and aligning and cleaning print heads. Software, Adjustments, and Calibration, which shows us great information like how to zero or re-zero the scale and calibrate the touchscreen. Label Dispenser shows how to replace label rolls and the battery, and the all-important Preventive Maintenance. Last is Rate Management. If you watched some of our earlier webinars, you learned about recent rate changes with mail and parcel carriers. This information will keep your business current with the latest carrier rates and compliance. Let's use an actual issue to show you how you would navigate the knowledge base. Let's say your mailing system is not printing correctly. Maybe you're getting a partial imprint. Starting from the beginning, www.neopostusa, then click on Support, and we go to the Visit the Knowledge Base in the center. We navigate to the machine type, and for this example, it is Mailing Systems, and now we find our machine of choice, the IN700. Now, we know from just moments ago that Align Print Heads and Clean Print Heads are under the Maintenance heading and Inking. But again, that comes from familiarity, so don't be afraid to click around on the site until you know your surroundings. Now, when we click on Align Print Heads, you'll see the LCD screen, buttons used, and procedure to follow step by step. This is a great resource. While we're here, let's go back one screen to that same Inking tab and click on Ink Cartridge Information. By pressing the buttons outlined in Buttons Used, you'll see your ink cartridge information that shows the first used date and the remaining ink amount by volume. Now, let's start basic operations by taking a walkthrough of your mailing system. Here's the hopper, which is the beginning of the mail transport path. The rear guide wall, which guides envelopes into the feeder. Here's the side guide. It holds large envelopes in place for feeding. Here's the mixed size feeder. This automatically feeds the system with envelopes of different sizes. The dynamic scale, which automatically measures the weight and dimensions of mail pieces to dynamically change postage after feeding. The auto label dispenser contains labels to be printed. The system base prints envelopes or labels and controls the mailing system. And the control panel, which allows you to control the mailing system. The jam release handle, which allows you to remove jammed envelopes or labels. Now, I don't have this piece in my handy model here, so I'll just show you a photo. This is the catch tray, which receives the mail pieces after processing. Inside that is the user guide receptacle. This stores the user guide or store labels. Alright, let's take a look inside the system base. First, here's the ink cartridge, and this prints the postal imprint on envelopes. The Postal Security Device, or PSD, this is the postage meter. It stores postage funds and tracks postage usage. And of course the cover. You just lift by the front side to open. Okay, let's dive into the meat of our presentation and cover some basic quick fixes. Remember, as with any machine, getting back to the basics and performing tasks from the beginning can resolve many, if not most, technical issues. Here are some of the most common. The mailing system is pulling doubles, or not pulling envelopes at all, or is jamming. You probably have the thickness setting wrong. So here's how to change the thickness setting. The feeder has 2 thickness settings that you can use according to the envelopes you have to process. Use this setting if several thin envelopes pass at one time through the feeder, or if thick envelopes are blocked at the entrance of the mail path. Open the feeder cover, change the lever position, 1 for thin envelopes or 2 for thick envelopes, and close the feeder cover. Another quick fix is the mail in base error without any mail present. It's typically a jam involving the meter tape. The fix is to pull all of your meter tape out of the base, and if a jam is present, you will see additional meter tape still in the machine. Remove the meter tape and you should be back up and running. So what if the mailing system is not sealing properly? Well, if your envelopes aren't sealing properly, we'll explore a few possible solutions, but keep in mind, they all boil down to just a couple of basic reasons. Either the flap isn't getting closed or the glue isn't getting wet. Let's start with the flap. Most of the time, if the flap is wet, but the envelope isn't sealed, you should check the thickness setting as we discussed moments ago. Now on to the glue. Your envelope flap glue is activated by moistening it with either water or sealing solution. That alarm means we're at another light bulb moment. So we'll interrupt our quick fix for a quick tip: sealing solution versus water. Why should you use sealing solution versus water? Well, water promotes algae, mold, and bacteria buildup, even when you're using distilled water, and can gum up the brushes used for application on the envelope. Sealing solution uses chemicals that eliminate algae, mold, and bacteria growth, and causes faster sticking, which speeds dry time for quicker handling. It also retards buildup, which ultimately lengthens the life of your machine. Okay, back to the sealing quick fix. If you've made sure that your thickness setting is correct, you probably already know to check the sealant bottle for liquid. But did you know it could be something as simple as an air bubble? Just shake the bottle a little and the air should be released, or pulling the bottle up a little and reseating it will work just as well. Filling the sealer bottle. I want to show you the proper way to add solution to your bottle. To add water or sealing solution to the bottle, first remove the bottle from its base and turn it over. Unscrew the cap and fill the bottle up to the limit marks. Screw the cap back on and put the bottle back into place. If your sealant bottle is full and you think your envelope flap is either not getting wet enough or too wet, here's how to adjust it. You can adjust the sealant or water flow using this back lever. When standing in front of the feeder, push the lever towards the left-hand side to increase the water level, or push the lever towards the right-hand side to decrease the water level. It's a good practice to clean your machine's brushes and sponge periodically. Depending on usage, every 60 to 90 days should be sufficient. Here's how to clean the brushes and sponge. First, open the feeder and push the left of the upper blue release lever to raise the upper drive assembly. Next, pull up the brush release lever, raise the brush, and lift the complete brush holder assembly. Lift the metal retainer to remove the sponge. Clean the sponge and the brush. Then reinstall the sponge and retainer. Put the brush back and push the release lever back down until it snaps into place. Push down on the upper drive assembly until it locks back into position. Another common question is how to replace ink cartridges. Well, here's how to change one. Note, the power cord must be plugged in to move the cartridge into the replacement position. First, open the cover. The ink cartridge moves to the replacement position. Make sure and keep your fingers away from the ink cartridge while it's moving to the replacement position. Press down on the back of the ink cartridge to disengage it. Lift out the old ink cartridge. Remove the protective strips from the new ink cartridge. Insert the new ink cartridge and then push it forward until you hear the click. Close the cover, and the alignment process of the printing heads will start automatically. One more thing on ink cartridges. It's important to understand the dating process on cartridges. There's a date on the cartridge and a date on the box. They're different. That causes a lot of confusion. Pop quiz. Don't worry, this is an easy one. Which date do you go by? Is it A, the date on the box, or B, the date on the cartridge? Click on the best answer. I'll give you a few seconds. It's actually pretty split 50-50. Everyone that said A is correct, but only partially. Actually, the date on the cartridge is the manufactured date of the cartridge. The date on the box is the expiration date if it is not installed. Once a cartridge is installed, there is no expiration date. Now, how much money did I just save your company? Good stuff. What if you're getting a PSD locked message on your machine? Performing a manual call can fix various issues, including a PSD locked message. Here's how to perform a manual call. The postage service requires your postage meter, or PSD, to periodically connect for postal security regulation. If you have not connected your system after a period, your system will automatically be deactivated. You have to do a connection within 90 days. If your system is deactivated, you have to perform a connection to the postal services to unlock the PSD. You can also use the audit function to set the mailing system time after daylight savings time transitions, as connecting to the postal services sets the mailing system time and date. So, to unlock the PSD and manually connect to the postal services, you could do one of two things. You can press the coin button, or press the menu button and type 7, or select the path My Funds. Next, select Postal Inspection, or press 3, and the system asks for confirmation. Press OK to connect to the postal services. If the audit is successful, the system displays a successful message. If the audit fails, the system displays a failure message explaining the cause of the error. Try to correct the cause and retry. Now let's talk about how to load postage. Checking funds. You could check the total postage used and the remaining funds in the PSD at any time to check that the funds are available to complete your current task. Remaining funds are continuously displayed at the bottom of the home screen, but you can also use this procedure. So, how to check the PSD or meter funds? To check available funds, you can either press the coin button or press menu and type 7 or select the path My Funds. The funds menu is displayed. Next, select the menu path Funds Used/Funds Available. The screen displays your postage funds as shown here. Adding funds. You can add funds to your mailing system at any time by completing these steps. The mailing system then connects to the postal services and validates the operation. To add funds to the PSD, either press the coin button or press menu and type 7 or select the path My Funds. Select Add Funds or type 2. If the system asks for a PIN code, enter the code using the keypad and press OK. The funds screen is displayed. By default, the system displays the value of the previous transaction. Enter the amount of postage to add using the keypad. Use C to clear a digit. Press C twice to clear the entire field. Press OK to start the connection to the postal server. If the funding process was successful, the system displays a successful message like this. If the funding fails, the system displays a failure message and the amount that you may actually add, depending on your postal account balance. There's also a generic call that will resolve a disconnected scale or add new rates following a rate change with the U.S. Postal Service. Here's how to call online services manually if you're a user. To trigger a generic call, press Menu and then type 9, then 3, or select the path Online Services, Generic Call. The mailing system connects to the server and downloads the available elements, rates, add dies, etc. Check your mailbox for messages. Okay, so here's how to call online services manually if you're a supervisor. To trigger a generic call as a supervisor, press Menu and then type 10.3 or select the path Online Services, Generic Call. The mailing system will connect to the server and it downloads the available elements, such as the rates, add dies, etc. Check your mailbox for any messages. Okay, so let's zero weight the scale. You can reset the weighing platform in the following ways. Set to 0 resets the weight to 0. Tare sets the weight to 0 with an additional tray on the weighing platform. and ReZero physically adjusts the weighing platform to 0. Note, to zero the weighing platform quickly, press and maintain the C key until the weight is reset to 0. So here's how you zero the weighing platform. Press Menu and type 2.4 or select the path Job Settings, Zero Weigh Platform. Remove all the items from the weighing platform and press OK to set to 0 the weighing platform. Let's talk about power down and power up procedures with a computer attached to the mailing system. This procedure is for an attached EMS shipping system or ARM accounting system. To prevent connection issues, you must reboot and power up in this order. Begin with all units powered down. Start up by powering up the PC. Wait for the red iMeter box on the PC. Turn on the mail machine and wait for the meter connected box to show a check mark. Then start the software, either the EMS or ARM. But David, what's the best quick fix of them all for any machine?
It's usually a reboot. However, you must hit the button by the power cord on the back right corner and leave it off for 20 to 30 seconds. It must have time to quit all internal systems to get a true reboot. Think of it as a quick lunch break for your postage machine.
We also have remote PC support with GoToAssist, which many times can avoid any travel time and get you up and running much sooner. This is so simple that your technician will walk you through it over the phone. I want to thank you for joining us today, and hopefully we've answered some of the basic general maintenance and common service questions. Please keep in mind that you always have the option during a scheduled service call to have the technician show you how to perform some of these quick fixes so that you can make the most out of your time and get your machine back to what's important, making your company money. Please watch for your invite to our next webinar, Roadmap to Electronic Distribution, which basically means we're going to show you how to get paid quicker. Now, for any of you that may have questions left or weren't answered by David during the webinar, let's get to our final Q&A. For that, I'm going to throw it back to the man with the plan. Here's David.
Thanks, Andy. That was great information. I hope we were able to take some of the mystery out of your postage machine. I hope this webinar has been informative and educational, and I've answered all of your questions. If not, I'll hang around a little longer. Just type them into the dialog box on the right, and I'll answer as many as possible. Or feel free to send an email to your web manager at glc@omecorp.com, and I will get it answered. Once again, be sure to watch out for your email invite to upcoming webinars. Those topics include Roadmap to Electronic Distribution, where we show you how to get paid quicker. And feel free to reply with suggestions for future topics. Thanks again for joining us, and good luck with your quick fixes for postage machines.